Hello and welcome to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I'm Harriet Frew, eating disorder therapist, here to support you in overcoming disordered eating and finding peace with food. So before I launch in today, I just want to let you know that I have my podcast up on YouTube. Not every episode that I record here is going to be on YouTube, but there are going to be some episodes coming through. So if you want to go and check out my YouTube account, there is a live video that I recorded in a podcast studio in London recently. It's talking all about my early relationship with food, heartbreak, sugar, how I trained as a therapist, working for the NHS, all the things. So do go and check it out. The link is in the show notes if you want to see me on YouTube, if you want to put a face to the name, if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time on audio. Okay, and if you would like more video content, do let me know. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about 4 roots of a disordered food relationship. So let's dive in. Like it or not, your relationship with food may be complicated. Your eating thoughts, behaviours and beliefs are mainly shaped in the early life years and into adolescence. So unconsciously, you absorb messages like a thirsty sponge as a young and innocent being, and they stay with you, being profoundly life-shaping. So it's not surprising that a food relationship can go off kilter, because as a human, you need to eat to survive and fuel your body. And if you're reading this, you're likely living in a culture with highly palatable foods being available 24/7, while simultaneously receiving cultural messages to get smaller and thinner. And food is one of the few things in life that you alone can control. It's a potent mix, all these things coming together for a potentially complex food relationship. Okay, so let's talk about different ways that you can be affected. So number 1, labels. If you were raised in an environment of dichotomous labeling of food, healthy, unhealthy, good, bad, clean, dirty, then your thinking lens leans towards black and white judgments and your emotional response towards guilt versus pleasure. Your eating lens is viewed through the world of extremes. So food has then become a special, forbidden, sensory substance to be revered and feared in equal measure. Food equals guilt, food equals euphoria. Body control feels virtuous and superior. Lack of control might feel lazy and disgusting. Now this leads to eating patterns that are either on or off the wagon, going from strict adherence to chaotic confusion. And a middle ground feels challenging to navigate. Okay, so that's number 1, labels. Number 2, control. So as an adult, food is one of the few life components that you truly have control over. But as a child, this is not the case. And naturally, as a child, some parental boundaries are and structure are needed and helpful for a growing person. We don't want no boundaries at all. However, if your food's been limited in childhood, maybe due to social reasons or diet culture rules, you can understandably become very fixated on it. Now, food may have been inconsistent and eating habits modelled in a feast or famine pattern. So you might be left hungry with a growling tummy. You might notice that your friend had greater access to a range of delicious foods, whereas you felt deprived or mentally restricted. And you find yourself letting loose around food when going to parties or play dates where food is simply available and abundant. So as an adult, you unconsciously avoid food control at all costs. Now, this is unconscious because consciously, you may impart restrictions and rules to cage your appetite. But unconsciously, that inner rebel pushes back with a vengeance and resists being leashed. We don't like being controlled as humans. So whether you're implementing dietary restraint, binge eating, emotional eating, or food hoarding, you can almost temporarily escape and cocoon and silently protest against the world. And this is one life segment that is yours alone to control and no one can penetrate it. So food control can feel like a misguided way to regain power when feeling overwhelmed and unable to set boundaries in other life areas. Okay, the next one, emotional comfort. So your parents were probably doing the absolute best they could at the time. Home environments often carry, though, generational trauma and much juggling of the many life curveballs. So food can become your primary turn to derive comfort and safety. It offers connection, affection, or nurturing, which may not have been available consistently from other sources. So food can fill an inner emptiness and void if you don't feel that you fit in. And food becomes a way to self-medicate and escape what feels like unbearable feelings, maybe such as anxiety, overwhelm, or anger. And manipulation of food offers an escape from reality and disengagement from the harsh daily existence. So this emotional comfort can be short-lived and frequently creates opposing feelings of shame and self-disgust, guilt. The feelings are unbearable, and then you eat to soothe further. And it's a distressing, perpetual cycle. So hard when we're in this. Last one, communication. So you may not have felt safe to express your emotions and needs growing up. And I think, again, not to blame parents here, I think societal conditioning to conform and to be accepted, to live our lives with acceptable kind of norms is powerful. And it's challenging to really stay aligned with the self. So restricting or overeating can communicate inner distress and unspoken pain displayed through your body. Your body creates a shield protection around you, and being very thin or overweight can build walls to reduce vulnerability. So you may feel less visible in a certain body size. You want to disappear and not attract attention. And you may have a weak sense of identity, always following rules and outside expectations. So a focus on food and body becomes your identity. That's how you feel safe in the world, and that's how you define yourself. Okay, so if you're relating to this and you're feeling stuck, recognize yourself here. Just be so kind and caring towards yourself, and to be caring and kind towards people in your life as well. I think people are doing the best they can. We do live in such a dysfunctional society where so many of these messages are everywhere. So the first step to change is having self-awareness and bringing thoughts and feelings to the surface. So it's just recognizing all of this within yourself. And you can hold deep compassion for your childhood self who experienced conflicting and challenging messages. And you can journal about the different triggers. You can talk to a trusted friend, and you may even wish to explore things further in therapy. But it's never too late to change your relationship with food and your body. And if you want to have more resources on this, you might be interested to check out my Food Freedom app. If that feels aligned for you, the link is in the show notes. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I truly appreciate you being here. If you're not following me already on Instagram, do seek me out, the Eating Disorder Therapist _. Do go and check out my first ever video on YouTube. Super excited. And if you're not following me already on Instagram, I've said that. If you enjoy this podcast, please follow, rate and review, as it helps it reach so many more listeners. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to sharing another podcast episode with you very soon.